Okay, YouTube Live is preparing. Okay, YouTube is live.
Hello, everybody. Nice crowd in here. Hey, fellas.
Hey.
All right.
And Dave, can you tell how many people are in the Hubs room?
We have, let's see, so simultaneously screening, we have, boy, does it say 17? Yep, it says 17 people.
Wow. Oh, I hope it's working with 17 people.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh, awesome. There's John Zelenka. Hello, John.
Hey, folks, how we doing?
Good to see you.
Doing
So
well.
John might also be able to look at chat stuff, because I know Eric has to bail, to get his stuff going. Oh, Takashi, hello.
Yes, you might want to co-host me at this point.
You're staying up all night to come here, right? What time is it in Tokyo? It's very, yeah, you can put it on chat. But thank you for staying up so late. He's seen this before because I came on Spaces to a Tokyo Stereo Club meeting.
Okay.
Okay, John, I've made you a co-host.
Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, I don't have to wait for permission. Got it. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm here.
Hey, Takashi.
In
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Thank you for staying up so late. I was really looking forward to taking you and everyone else from Japan out for dinner so I'm going to send you a virtual steak or something. I'll email it to you.
Okay.
All right, we ready to kick it off? Oh, boy.
Oh, there we go. That Echoplex. That actually sounds good. Don't change it.
All right, how about that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, great. So you won't really see my face. There'll be like a little duplicate thing going across. But hey, everybody, welcome to the Hubs room. You'll see I'm joined by my my co-moderator, Jim Harp, who is being spotlighted currently. There he is over on, oh, I see. So he's in VR.
Yes,
so.
I'm using Spaces, which is, I can talk about just for a minute. It's a very cool free app that if you have a Steam compatible headset, which does include an Oculus, a Rift S or a Quest with the link cable, Spaces lets you go on Zoom meetings and also Skype calls from within VR. It's a lot of fun. This is a company that initially was doing, I think they were doing the Terminator VR installations at theme parks. And of course, their work slowed down in the pandemic. So this is what they did instead, is came up with a very cool solution. What I'm going to do, just to give you an idea, this is the camera which I'm grabbing. I'm going to let you see what I'm seeing. I'm in this room. It's a 360-degree room. I have a whiteboard I can write on. There's actually any number of rooms I could go to. This thing here is a little toy they give me to play with. It's basically a TIE fighter that'll just come back to where I put it. And then you can see I have a computer screen within my virtual room that lets me look at the Zoom meeting. And I'll put myself back. But it's just called Spaces VR. It's free. You need it. It works within Steam. So as I say, if you're using Quest, you need to have a link cable. Within the Oculus Rift, Steam VR is just an app. So you run the Steam VR app, and then you're in the Steam universe, and you can run Spaces. So if you're having to do a lot of Zoom meetings, this really makes them a lot easier to take because you have you have your own TIE fighter, and you can also get a Jedi Starfighter if you don't want the Millennium Falcon. And then you can actually put your own physical models in too now. They keep adding features to this. This is an avatar I made. It it looks a little better than I do in real life, but why not? So Spaces VR, just one of the very cool things that's free and is a lot of fun to play with. And I yield the floor to people who have more interesting things than that to say.
Right. So we're going to kind of have a loose, I hope you don't, I'm sorry about the audio in the background. I need to try to fix that. But those are the people that are in our Hubs room right now. And
Boy, should I just stop that? I'm just going to stop that for now.
Now, are you able to put this? Do you have a screen of the hubs room that we can look at from within here, or?
Yeah, you know, I just closed it, but actually, what we can segue into the hubs, and I can just kind of show you what's happening with the hubs room. So what it is so hubs is a multi-user environment, and what it allows you to enter in VR or on a phone or a tablet or your desktop computer. Obviously, you'll only be in a three-dimensional little space if you are using a headset. So I'm going to try to click on this, and basically you can also create your own rooms, and it's all within the Firefox browser, so there's nothing you need to download at all. You can just create rooms, you can go to rooms, you can share screens, you can do all that stuff right from within your browser. So what I see now, now I'm in the lobby, it's just waiting to come in, so I can see all these people. I was sharing my desktop so they could see the Zoom. Okay, so we hear them talking. That guy's wandering around out there. And here we have kind of Mount Rainier. So it's like we're back in Washington. We're having the event in virtual space. So I regret we couldn't get the two-way link hooked up, but this is what's happening now. And the link, if you want to go to this link, it may be working on our main website in the current event, or you can go to the Facebook group where we have posted something to the top. So these people, you move around, you can share things, like, so I can just, well, that's sharing the link. So that's really easy to get to if anybody wants to go there. And I could enter, and then you can type things, you can share screens, that kind of thing. So, oh, go ahead.
So when you made this room, right? We're looking at something you created within Hubs. And someone actually asked me while we were standing there, what would you say the learning curve is to do something like this? They have tutorials that explain it. Did this take you 2 days, a couple hours?
This probably took me a couple hours, probably, not even that, because I'm familiar with Unity. I'm not great at it, but if you've seen Unity before, it's a way to kind of set up your own environment. And again, like I said, this is all within the Firefox browser, and it's free. So you can just go, you can set up your own room, and I actually just use a template for this, and I just change the background. So they've already kind of created all of these things, but this is just the mock-up of the room, and I can kind of move around through, and I can look at it, and I can set up like different objects. And where people appear and what the ground looks like and all of that stuff. So so Greg Perez, who's in the room, he actually created this 360-degree image, which Jim Cruci will talk to you a little bit. So I can just go and then boom, right, and just easily sort of change my background. But it's really pretty not too difficult to pick up. So I think just at the end of this, we'll try to move to a sort of more advanced room, and things might crash. So that's pretty good. Does anybody have any questions about the?
Actually, I had a question that came up on chat, which I just thought I would answer. Someone asked, can I see and interact with the chat on Zoom when I'm in Spaces? And the answer is obvious. I can see it, but I actually can't interact with it unless I'd have to take the headset off and type on my computer. I think that's something they're working on, but you would need obviously a virtual keypad or something to be able to type back into chat. So you can see chat, you can't type back into it. But I have done meetings where I just have a keyboard sitting right under the headset. And if you're good at typing without being able to see, you can actually get it to work that way. Because I'm connected here to a desktop computer that if I take my headset off, I just see this Zoom meeting on that desktop computer. And it's just running Spaces on top of that, which is letting me see it from within here.
And yeah, and really, so all Jim is doing is that in Zoom, he has gone to his list of cameras, and rather than use his real camera, he's just gone down and he's chosen this virtual camera.
Yeah, they
So-
call it Unity Cam, actually. Interestingly enough, it's called Unity Cam. So Unity camera.
Jim, you want to lift the veil and show and change your camera and show us what you look like?
Sometimes that works. I'll see if don't always get that to work, but it's actually kind of funny because I have done this a few times. It might not work now, where I actually will go in and you suddenly see there are cameras built into this Vive unit that I have, and you'll actually see my basement from the point of view of me with the headset on. Doesn't seem to be letting me do that, but that is what, you wouldn't see me wearing a headset. You'd see the world as it looks from my headset, which is a kind of cluttered basement. This virtual room is much cooler, I can tell you that.
Right. It's actually prison.
Yeah, I don't have a full-size Millennium Falcon in my basement at the moment.
Okay. Well, I had a couple other things to kind of show, but really,
Are they seeing the Zoom meeting now in Hubs? I know you had to disable the sharing to show us Hubs, right? You kind of can't have both.
Oh, I think I stopped the screen sharing. Did you guys see this before? Did you see
Yeah.
the screen before when I moved around? And
Oh yeah, no, it looked good when I was in there. I'm just wondering, I just want to know, are they able to see the Zoom meeting right now? Because I think you might have had to turn that
No, we
off.
can't see the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, so we should see if we can. Is that possible to get that to happen? Because that would be the ideal thing, is if those guys in that hub room could actually see this meeting. We've been trying to figure out how to do this, have a Zoom meeting and a VR meeting at the same time. It's a bit of a mind warping thing.
Okay, so I'm going to drop off of my audio, and then I'll be able to show it, because the problem is if I go, all right, so everyone in the Zoom room, or everybody in the Hubs room, needs to be quiet, because I'm going to come in and the audio will do crazy things, I think, if I don't do it right. So maybe I can turn off the most. Okay. So wait a second. So now I'm in Hubs, and now what I can do is I can share my desktop. So I will share screen 2, and I will allow it. Okay, so now people can see. So if somebody in Hubs wants to grab my screen and move it up onto a bigger, there's Jim McManus waving around there from Florida.
Wow, that his avatar is uncanny. I could recognize Jim anytime with that. The technology is amazing for that.
That's right. So he's kind of coming through. I don't even know from where.
He's moving the screen around. That's very cool.
Yeah, so I can see everyone else who's in here. B. Thompson, Scaly Sided. There's Greg Perez.
I'm glad you have a separate room for these guys.
So someone had a fish tank earlier.
I made the fish tank. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
No. I wanted to see it. Is it still in there, or is it gone?
I don't think I got rid of it, but I'm not sure where I left it.
Okay.
But yeah, you press the top button on your right Quest controller, and you get a create option, and there's all these things you can bring into the environment. It's really fun.
So a number of these people are not in VR. They're just on their desktops. There's a limit of 20 people in the room. And that's why we didn't want to just publish the link everywhere, because we didn't want 25 non-VR people to be in there and not experience it.
What's weird is I can't hear you guys in VR. I can hear you through my desktop.
Well, that's okay. So if I'm sharing my desktop and I'm looking around, then what I have is this little message. Oh, I'm sharing the application. All right, never mind. If the people in Hubs, if you're on a low bandwidth device, what you can do is point at someone in Hubs and click on it and say mute and mute them. And what that'll do is it'll make the bandwidth, it'll give it more bandwidth so that you can hear your audio better. So with the more people that are in there, the more crowded it gets for your phone, for your processor to work.
Okay, that's good to know. It's like, but I think your feed when you're piping Zoom into the Hubs room is just very, 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 very low.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even, if we set something on fire today, then we'll have
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so this is pretty random. What I just wanted to mention too, there's other VR worlds out there really quick that I find interesting. AltSpace is one of the really biggest ones. I've been to several business meetings in AltSpace where you're standing with other people on a bunch of risers, and then suddenly the at the end, the lecture stops, the risers disappear, and you float to the floor, and then you can walk around and have breakout sessions with people in VR. And it's sort of like, if you've seen High Fidelity, it's like High Fidelity, but you're in VR. And so if you want to talk to someone, you stand at a distance. So definitely check out AltSpace VR. It's on most of the, it's owned by Microsoft, so it's got really some Microsoft power behind it. That's a fun place. People like VR chat. That's a bit much for me. I went there and a guy turned into a race car, and I mean it's really advanced and it's interesting, but there's a lot of stuff going on there. And if you have Steam, which is a way to get games, there's the environments, which is nice. And with this Half-Life Alyx, which is a new game, you can actually design your own kind of physics worlds. And actually, you can do that now, but it's more. It's like what I showed you before on here, but it's a bit more complex. There's some really interesting experiences, though. I know, like I took Jim Harp into it, and we went.
Yes, highly recommended.
Yeah, we went to Tower Bridge and we shot down birds with drones. So it's a bit weird and fun and all that. The other thing I want to show you is big screen, and I don't remember if I'm doing the sound. Let me just try sharing my screen really quick. And we also have we're going to kick it over to Jim Prusi from
Your Orbix. Orbix.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
yeah, of course, you're busy.
Spacing, yeah. So I need to do, okay, I'm going to share my computer sound, and I just want to show two things. I'm going to show big screen, which we really enjoy. And in fact, we can segue into this if you feel like going into big screen after this. What big screen is it allows you to go into a movie theater in VR with other people. So you can have up to 12 people in a little room, and you can watch a movie, and that movie can be someone sharing their desktop, or now they allow you to just run to run a video just from within there. I'm going to pause it and just point out that it works in 3D, and that's the special sauce, that you can watch 3D movies in this. So that's a little bit more indicative of it. We went and we had Ikuo, and we had Eric Kurland, and we had Jim Harp, and we had Steve Berzin, and you can talk to each other, you can throw tomatoes, you can watch things. And so hopefully we'll have people streaming big screen rooms, and we'll paste on the Facebook what the names of the rooms are on the VR announcement. You can go into big screen, and then you can watch the 3D theater from within there. So there's that, and then the other thing I think is really pertinent for 3D folks is that there's a player, an app that you can download called Pegasus, and it works on the Quest and the Go, and you can watch your own MPO or side-by-side files. And so that's really sort of the most easy step to take to move toward your digital stereoscope. And I think Jim Prusi will talk a little bit about that later. Also, or about his 360 worlds and side-by-sides. Of the software is really supportive of the 3D community, so he added the MPO support, I believe, at the request of some people. So then the one more place I want to talk about is Engage, which actually will segue over to Jim a little bit. So Engage is another kind of virtual world where you can share, much like what you saw with Hubs, but you do have the ability to have 360. You can view 360 videos, 360 3D videos with a couple other of your friends. So we didn't get it together to kind of show that for this convention, but the cool thing is you're in your own 360 3D movie with a couple other people. So that's called Engage. So I don't know if there's any questions or if we want to kick over to Jim. Does someone else who's more plugged in want to handle that? Jim Harper?
Also, Dave, what's very cool about Engage is that you can actually record your lesson or session or whatever they call it and play it back, and it'll record everybody's avatar in the room as well. And so it's like you can multi-track on top of that and go back and add elements, and you can literally build a VR experience sort of from the ground up, piece by piece.
Okay, cool. Okay, so why don't we pop over to Jim if
Yeah, Jim Prusi, right, from Orbix?
yeah.
Great.
It's awesome that he could show up here and and deal with this craziness and insanity. Take it away, Jim.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. No, thank you for having me, and I really appreciate you guys letting me show you Orbix. I'm gonna put in the chat there a Google Doc that I did with a bunch of links that you could check out of some of the experiences that you could show on Orbix. Excuse me. I'm gonna kick it off with just kind of like a stinger, just to make sure that it's keep things moving along. So let's see if I can share this here or not. Let's see, quick time. Sorry about that. Just let me share here. Oh, I'm going to have to come right back on the Zoom here. It's asking me for permissions. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, I'm muted. Okay, so Jim McManus is asking if the Hub's room should be, so audio should be going, or video. What did you ask, Jim?
I was wondering if there should be a video feed going to the Hub's room, because all we see is the NSA, the Virtual Con logo on the big screen, and then there's like a tiny screen floating over somebody's head. I think it's just a snapshot, but I don't see a video feed of I thought you were going to try to feed this Zoom meeting in there, so I just want to make sure I wasn't missing it.
Oh, the Zoom meeting. Okay. Do you see the Zoom meeting now?
Not in the Hub's room. In other words, on the screen in front of all the seats is just black.
Oh, well, not on that screen, but there was that little screen that I shared before.
Yeah. Yeah, and it didn't. I thought that was like frozen.
Oh, it could be. Let me just try again.
It's gone now, so maybe do a new one. It might work.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry about that. I think I'm ready now when you guys are. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay, I think I have, so I'll have, yeah, Jim, you guys can see Jim. Okay, so now the people in Hubs can see.
Yeah, there you go.
Can
Okay.
see.
Yep, good deal. Thank you.
Take it away, Jim.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's see if this here works. Can you see that okay?
Yep.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, yeah. So this is basically in the Oculus browser, and I'm just showing you. I don't know if that's a little loud. These are stereoscopic side-by-side images that William Turner put up, and we made a slideshow. Also, we have a feature where you can just build your own slideshow, and you could go from group to group. And we also have a VR menu that will allow you to explore the whole site. You can go to either any of your other experiences or other people's experiences. So I'm still in VR here, and I just went to another experience. These are also side-by-side stereoscopic images. That sound was also inside of that experience. And again, I'm still in. That's our VR menu. You can move around to any experience inside of VR. This is a stereo movie that I built. I built this. I just downloaded this little GLB file from like Sketchfab, and this is a stereo movie, side-by-side movie that is showing. It's stereo. So then you can come out again. This is the Oculus browser. Once you go to Orbix, you pretty much can just go to the home screen like this. You can go to any experience. You could stay in VR. You can come out of it. I wanted to show this. This is actually a virtual reality environment that someone built 100% in Orbix. All these walls and all the images and everything were built inside of Orbix. So you can move around this virtual gallery and look at your artwork, put up whatever you need to put up. And these could also be done with stereoscopic images also. We do have all right, so that's pretty much that there. So stop sharing. Okay, am I not sharing anymore? Hello?
You're back on.
Okay, great. Great. So everybody saw that video, okay?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. I didn't know could you hear me talking about it when it was going on?
Yes,
Okay.
heard
Yes,
you
we
loud
could
and
hear
clear. Heard you
Yep.
loud and clear.
Okay.
At least, yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? It's hard to be
Yeah.
certain of anything in this new
Wow.
zoomy environment.
No, it's great. I mean, the technology is always, very exciting,
I like that. That's a good word for it. Exciting. Good or bad. It's exciting.
So,
Hey, Jim, so what I did is I just pasted the link to the Google Docs document into the Hubs room. So people in Hubs, I believe, should be able to click on that chat.
I thought I saw it for a second.
Okay, it appeared at the bottom. If you,
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
if you click on it, you should be able to bring. Oh, I can click share. Oh, look, I made a new window. Oh, it broke. Okay, that's what happens when you. So I guess you guys can't see my screen, but when you share something, it breaks it. But
Right.
sorry. So back to I don't mean to. Let's see, back to Jim.
exit full screen. There's so much going on here. So let me see if I can get that. What is exactly this sharing here?
That thing usually means something interesting is happening.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah, so this is the, no, this is not it, man. So these are the links that I had posted. That's what this is. So it basically just goes through everything that Orbix supports. We support stereoscopic 360 photos, 180 photos, flat side by side. We made a carousel specifically for the conference, so you guys can check that out. We do side by side video, which you saw there. There's that VR gallery. We also do alpha video, which is kind of cool, and then just regular 360 video flat, which probably no one's excited about that. And you know, this is what it looks like on Orbix. That's a 360 photo. That's stereo. This is a 180. You get like you can go from image to image down here with the carousel. We do have also an anaglyph button. If you click on that, you can it'll turn it to anaglyph if that excites you. This is these are stereoscopic images, and this is the carousel, like I said, that we had just built. So if you're in VR, this is stereo, and you can go through each image like that, and you can also just like put them in a circle around you, and there's other scenes here with different groups of cars. That's the stereo side-by-side video environment that I was showing you. This is also a different gallery. This is a group of students, and what they did was they built these galleries and they connected them with this elevator, so you could go from student to student's work by just going up and down the elevator. Oh, so yeah, the 360 and the 180 stereoscopic images, if you want, you can download an anaglyph version of it. This is kind of fun if you want to do some cool art stuff, like say on Instagram and stuff. This is green screen video. So this is a VR environment, and you can see you can walk around it.
Yeah, this is John Calvis. Can you hear me here?
I can.
Wonderful. I just quick wanted to say that, first of all, it's really wonderful that so many different things, options, and so forth are working and working as well as they are. I think this is great. I hope that someone is taking notes or so on especially some of the comments that are coming in, because many people are watching this from a tremendous variety of different equipment, not only a lot of different types and brands of VR equipment, but other equipment as well. And I think that the more that we can learn about who is using what, the next time we do something like this, why we'll have information that'll be very valuable to be able to prepare ahead of time. We might even have things like a, let's say, a button actuated menu, or even other things like links, for example, where you wouldn't have to type in a whole link, but you could just press a button and it would go to that particular link. Many things like this that we should think about. So that's it. I know a lot of other things you're going to talk about, so I'm going to leave here at this point.
That's really great. That's really great, John. And for you folks who aren't familiar with John Calvis, I think VR like back in the 50s with like an overlay of onto like a heads-up display on a car. Am I doing that justice, John, or did I just make that up totally?
Well, actually, that's true. It's kind of funny that you mentioned that I didn't think very many people were aware of it. Yeah, that was one of the first things that I ever did, which was actually before I was working in VR, that was working in AR, where I actually had a system that I had built into my car that I could look just straight ahead at the windshield. And while I'm looking at the windshield and the traffic ahead and everything, not taking my eyes off the road, I can see all of my instruments, speedometer and everything else.
Wow.
So this was a very, very convenient thing that I wanted to promote. At that time, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any manufacturers, especially in the automobile industry, that were interested in putting this out, because I thought it would be a great safety item. But anyway, I've been.
All right, well, that's great. Just to follow up, we are going to keep the chat. We're going to save the chat, and then we'll try to maybe post some of the highlights to that Facebook announcement, and we'll try to kind of do that. And then afterwards, we can do a survey too. We're hoping to after the convention to see to kind of shape things for the future potentially.
So I have just like a minute-long demo of how to create something on Orbix, and then I can take some questions if that's okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
If there's audio, we can't hear it.
Oh.
You might need to reshare with the audio turned on.
That old trap. I fell victim to that yesterday.
Okay, let me see here. Sorry about that. Yeah, if that doesn't work, then it's, let's see. So stop sharing. And then you said share with audio.
Before you share, yeah, make sure you check the share with audio.
Share with computer sound.
Yeah.
That's it, yes.
Optimize share screen for video clip. Probably do that too, right?
Either one,
Yes,
if you
do
could
that.
check both
Yes,
of them if you'd like.
Do that, both boxes.
Gotcha. All right. Sorry about that. Oh my God. Is that working?
So it's spinning. It's starting to come.
Now it's on.
Select from.
Got it.
Hello, here's a quick demo on uploading side-by-side stereoscopic images on Orbix. Just hit the create new button. Go ahead and type in the name of your orb and select from the template flat stereoscopic images. And then you will just go ahead and select any number of images you like, up to 8, and they will be automatically put in a 360 degrees around you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 6. So just select 6 images and hit create. You don't need to see that. It takes about 20-30 seconds. And then this is what it looks like. They're put all around you. These are some cha-chas that I did with my iPhone. And you can then manipulate them. You just click on it. You can do whatever you need to do to these as far as like making them bigger or moving them. And there you have it. I mean, it's really that simple. And so yeah, that's there you go. That's pretty much the demo on that. It's a pretty quick process, but so yeah, hopefully that gave you a good overview of Orbix. And if you have some questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
That's super cool looking. I can't wait to jump in there and take some of my side-by-side photos. Actually, someone there was a question in the chat about whether you can do whether they should be half side-by-side or full side-by-side.
Like, are they squashed 50% as for a TV, or do you just take them as they came out of the camera?
They're half and half. They're not squashed. Sorry.
Yeah, so they're just basically full. You're not needing to compress them like a stereo
That's right.
TV does. Cool.
That's right. That's right.
Is that little video demo that you just ran, is that on the Orbix site?
Yes. You mean the video itself?
Yes, that little thing that you
No,
just
no,
ran.
no, no. That's just did a screen recording with yeah.
You've got some good tutorials, though. There are some good tutorials on there. I was very impressed how easy it was to learn this. You guys have really.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
Yes,
that's pretty much. We have a really small team. It's just 4 of us, and pretty much yeah. So thank you very much.
Jim, is there a limit to the number of pictures you could arrange in a ring? In other words, I'm thinking if I could do a 3D panorama by cramming as many images as possible to where there's no space between them, is it possible to make sort of an unconnected ring, a fully connected ring around you?
So what you saw there is like just a template that you could just use to do it like very fast. You could add one image to one. You can add anything to that. All of our functionality is interchangeable. I could put a 360 movie behind this. I could put a 3D image behind it. I could add an environment. I could add sound, interactions, anything. Yeah.
Cool.
So all this stuff, and this is just a way to just really quickly put up up to 8 images.
Yeah, nice.
Create something fast.
Excellent.
Jim, can you add text? Like if we wanted to have a caption under one of these images or a few of these images?
Yep. I don't know if you remember the demo with the gallery. So all that text was done in Orbix. You just type it in and you can put it there. We have a text. Let's see if I can. Maybe I can share my screen and do some of that. But if you have other questions, please let me know.
Is this,
Thank you.
how does this, is this a sponsored app? Is there advertisements? How's that work?
Okay, so it's a website. It's not an app. So it's you just go to www.orbix.com, and if you can just on your Oculus, you can go there also. On the Quest, it's web-based, so you can go on your phone, your web. We're a startup. There's only like 4 of us, like I said. We do charge for removing our logo. So if you're a professional, like say mainly it's for real estate people, if you want to do a real estate tour or something like that.
Yeah, and I do want to mention this works great on a phone. In other words, if you don't have a VR headset, if you have a good smartphone and a cardboard viewer or a pair of clip-on glasses, this stuff looks great on it. It's actually a really nice way to be able to share 360 images or stereo images within VR without having to have all the expensive hardware.
Thanks, and we're going to continue to work on developing, like, say, movement in VR on the phone. It's just really development time.
I don't know if this is a proprietary thing that wouldn't be possible, but have you looked at the Facebook 3D images, which are based on depth maps and actually let you kind of move around? It's really quite uncanny if you see a Facebook 3D. Is that something you could ever conceivably add to what you're doing?
It is. This is kind of like where the idea came from for the carousel, because they have something similar for their 3D depth map stuff. We could probably work on it. Like I said, that would be pretty lower on the list. Maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, we could definitely work with that and do the depth map stuff. It would just take some processing behind. We would get the depth map information and then process it in the background. I guess it would be sort of like a wiggle movie in a way too. You know, it would take some work, but we could totally do it, you know.
So people are asking if this works on the iPad or the iPhone.
Yes, yeah, it's a website. So anything you can go to on a website, you know, with anything that's we optimize for the Chrome browser and we optimize for the Oculus Quest and the Oculus Go, but it should work on everything.
So would you go like? So, but would it be 2D, I guess, on the phone, or do you know if it can do a side by side like a cardboard?
Yeah, no, it works great. A cardboard on a phone. Yeah, that works. I mean, I've done it. Yeah.
Yeah, the cardboard you could do. The what was I going to say? If you don't have any glasses or anything, you can only do the anaglyph version, and that would be, I guess, with the 180 and the 360. I mean, the 180 stereoscopic and the 360 stereoscopic, kind of the old school. You know, we started off as basically a photo sharing site for real estate about 4 years ago, and we were definitely interested in VR. I was totally into the stereoscopic stuff right away, and we were one of the first companies out there to do like 360 stereoscopic images and anaglyphs also. And you know, we're just we love this type of content, the stereo content, and we're just super excited to like hopefully have as many of you guys share your content and make it easy for other people to discover your content, and kind of work together in that way.
I'd like to chime in with one thing. I know you haven't had time to cover all the cool things you're doing, but one thing that's really fun with the Orbix is if you have a bunch of 360 stereo images taken from various locations, say in a city, you can put little positional markers. So you're looking at one, you're standing in one part of the city, and you can kind of click over to that spot that's 2 blocks away and suddenly be there. It's this wonderful sense of actually traveling around a place. Am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah, that's yes. That's like a hotspot, and
yeah, the hotspot.
Yeah, and
but it really makes you feel like you're traveling around a place. It's just
right.
Kind of adds a whole other level of immersion. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we're continuing. We want to also, if you put your stuff on Orbix, we want to make sure that future technologies, we're going to be able to take advantage of you having your images there. So maybe AR, we're going to expand into AR. So your images will already be on Orbix. You can use it in AR. We have already worked on the chat thing. We do have it in our test site, the chat functionality where he was talking about maybe people joining a room. So you could actually sit in one of these experiences with somebody else and share it and be there in VR together, VR chat. So we're pushing the technologies as much as possible, and we've been here for 4 years, and we're going to be here for a long time. We have a nice small team, and we're dedicated to this.
If you were doing the real estate stuff, so you were taking drone, how about the point cloud images off of drones? You integrate that stuff too? You must have been working with that, no?
Just the drone stuff. You could post a drone photo. We haven't done any point cloud stuff, but maybe eventually. Now that the iPhone is going to be coming out with some sensors and stuff, I did upload a scan of myself. But yeah, now that the iPhone's coming out, that we'll probably go towards that, because I love the cha-chas. I mean, I have an Insta360 camera. I have a 360 Go camera, and it's just a matter of you have your phone in your pocket all the time. So if your phone can do it, that's real exciting. So you know, but it's not that great sometimes for the shot-shots aren't that great, but they're fun for me. So,
You know, it's amazing how good the cameras on these phones are. Now that they're adding this LiDAR scanning, it's an amazing new world.
yeah. And there's a lot of information that's going to be there, like you said, like depth map and stuff. And we will definitely be looking into extracting some of that metadata from the images that as they're captured and using that somehow in VR.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some really exciting stuff done with 360-degree images that include depth maps. Is it Candow who does that? One of these cameras actually captures the depth map when you take a 360.
Yep,
Jim McManus knows about that. So, I mean, yeah, and just that, you know, there are so many cool things that does that lets you sort of feel like you can kind of move around a little bit. It almost gives you a slight, you know, almost halfway to photogrammetry. So it's, yeah, there's just a lot of exciting stuff going on, which I know you guys are going to be busy. I'm sure you're going to keep very busy with all this stuff, as all of us are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're excited to work with your community. If you guys have ideas for something that you want in order to show your artwork better, please bring that to us. Because if you guys want it, somebody else is going to want it. So we're willing to like put in the time to build it, you know. Or if you have some cool ideas and you want to partner somehow, we're always looking to partner with somebody. So just always, you can contact me at Jim@Orbix or contact at Orbix 360. It's,
Where are you actually physically located other than for now? Where's the company? Where's the company located?
We're located all over the place. I'm in New York City. One of my other partners is in Brooklyn. We have one in France, and then one out west. He's in Oregon. So yeah, there's 4 of us.
Cool. Well, there's actually some people in this group who know a bit about vintage stereo views. I think what you're doing is a credible way to share some of that amazing wealth of, you know, treasures. It's very exciting.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jim. I would love that. And if there's somebody out there that has great stereo stuff and they're like, hey, I don't know how to do this, I would be more than willing to help them figure it out. You know.
Well, yeah. Thanks again for taking the time to come here and because this is the first thing for years. People are always asking me, well, I have all these 3D images. How do I put them in VR? And there have been solutions, but yours is by far the easiest and quickest one that actually is going to be usable. So it's very exciting stuff.
Thank you.
Someone in the chat asked if the VR gear, the Gear VR by Samsung is still supported, and not really. I mean, it works for some things, but some apps have just stopped supporting it. So
I believe Samsung has stopped its video. In other words, there was always that wonderful Samsung video library. I think they discontinued that, unfortunately.
Yeah, they gave a September as a cutoff point to take all your stuff that you had on there down.
Yeah, they've cut off support for the Gear VR. One interesting thing that I've done with a Gear VR though, I've run this application called RiftCat that allows me to actually stream something that's running on a gaming PC in a VR application like Steam.
Eric, you got pretty low.
Eric.
Your
What's
volume
that?
got pretty low.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm having some weird audio stuff. I'm running a program called RiftCat that allows me to actually trick like Steam VR on a PC into thinking that the Gear VR is my headset. And the resolution is nowhere near what you'd get normally, and there are latency issues to work out. But I've actually been able to run Rift applications on a Gear VR in a very sort of primitive. I actually got big screen running on a Gear VR that way.
That's great, because those are great lenses on those Gear VRs. It's frustrating. I'm actually one of many people who actually bought Gear VR lenses and put them in a Vive Pro because they were better optics. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating to have a $900 headset that you put in a pair of $30 lenses to make it look better, but that's what a lot of us have done. So this Gear VR was a wonderful piece of gear. It's nice to hear that it can still have some life. Also, it was one of the only VR headsets you could focus. What an innovation.
Yeah, I know.
You can actually see what you're looking at. What an innovative idea that is. So yeah, it is nice to hear of anything to keep those going, because for what they were amazing devices.
One of the reasons I think the lenses were so good is that they weren't Fresnel lenses. They didn't have all those concentric rings in them.
Exactly.
They figured out how to make a normal lens with a very short focal length and a very wide field of view, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, they just look so much. It was like getting the Vive Pro and getting a major upgrade to the thing. For $30 for a pair of Gear VR lenses.
How difficult was it to swap them out?
It took me a while because I was trying to do the wrong thing. Once I figured out, it's actually quite simple. You get these 3D printed plastic frames that hold the Gear VR lenses. You have to get the custom designed frames that basically then let them fit into the Vive. So if I knew what the next time I do, it'll take me 2 minutes. I just was trying to take apart I didn't know what I was doing. It took me 20 minutes. That's
Hey,
sort
Jim,
of thing.
I think by now you're freaking people out with that comment, though.
Yeah.
$900, I'll tear the lenses out. Seems like a day's an afternoon's work.
I was freaked out about it, but I just wasn't. I had bought this expensive headset and didn't like the way it looked. It's very frustrating, and I got to say it was worth it. I'm looking through those lenses right now. Actually, I've got my Vive Pro that I'm doing spaces in, and it looks amazing. Oh, good. So, Dave, are you going to show us your other room here in Hubs?
So what I did was in that room where people were in before in Hubs, there were a couple people, Andy Modla and Shoemaker Chris, who were still in there. And so I changed the scene, and this is a scene I created in Spoke before in the browser. And what this is I use an app on my phone called display.land. And what it allows me to do is just walk around using my phone and capture photogrammetrically this weird little thing at the Greenwood Cemetery, which is in South Brooklyn.
Wow.
So then I've got a 360-degree photo in the back. So this little room right here, this area here, is all in 3D in that land. And if one of those people is in the room, if Chris Shoemaker or Andy wants to go into that little room, there's kind of a little Easter egg if you go close to that door. And you can kind of see, like, if you go, where is it?
Dave's secret party room.
Oh, don't give it away.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway.
This is quite compelling within VR. It's hard to see from Zoom, but you really do feel like you're looking at this you're really looking at this structure. It's amazingly effective for something that was captured with a phone on an app. It really works.
iPhone app?
It's an iPhone and Android.
Display.land, yeah.
How many pictures did you take to capture it with?
You just hold up your phone. You press a button, and it just starts ingesting like the point cloud, and it also takes all of the images. And then
oh, interesting. So you just move the phone. Yeah. Okay.
No, did I see something in chat that the app is no longer available? I don't have my chat window playing well, but maybe this is.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what happens. You find something cool, you better use it right away. That's
right. That's right. Then they monetize it. Oh no. Oh no, associated data.
On the 11th. Hell, I should have gone out on Monday and played with this.
Oh,
yeah, really? That's
all right. Well, welcome to the bleeding edge of technology. This is what you get every other day. Yeah.
So what happens? Well, at least you can steal the lenses out of the Gear VR and turn it into a snorkel or some mask. If you got a snorkel, maybe that's what you could use it for at this point.
Absolutely.
Well, good for them, I guess.
Okay, I'm in there. I don't know if Chris is around. I see him.
And there's Takashi Sekatani has given us a link in chat showing how the Kandao Obsidian 360 shoots both a depth map and a 360. That's very exciting. I mean, it just takes a whole new level of what you can do with these immersive images.
And the depth maps it generates are very clean. I mean, to the extent that you really don't need to modify them at all most of the time. And also it gives you a full 360 3D depth map. So you get depth maps for both left and right eyes.
Mm.
It's funny watching here. And by the way, another announcement.
Andy.
I wanted to give another announcement quick that if you wanted to watch, I posted in chat, if you want to watch the stereo theater in VR, what you want to do is download the Firefox Reality browser app from the Oculus store. And what that will let you do is watch the live stream. And then at the bottom, there's more information on Facebook, but basically you can tell the app that you want side by side, because the YouTube VR app cannot sometimes figure out a live stream and 3D.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Hey, let Andy find the Easter egg.
Oh, did you find it?
I know what it is, but I'm saying let Andy find it.
Oh, that's
Yeah, you
right.
just go up to the door if my memory serves, right? You just have to like walk right up to the door of that thing.
Well, don't give it away. Yeah.
Well, I mean that I'm not saying what happens, but you do.
We
You
both
just,
helped.
I want to make sure he knows where to go.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You got to really look at the door really close. Okay, he's got it now.
Both Jims have said too much at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. And now he's got. Oh, and actually, you know what, Andy? So you can teleport. If you figured out teleporting, you can move back a little bit and then go and bring us in something. Oh, you can fly in this environment too.
That's right. How do you do that?
If you type /fly, well, I think just hold down your triggers and sort of point to the ground, and you should be able to fly.
Okay.
So there's a link in there. I don't want to take up time if people have questions. See if they find it.
It's one of the greatest things ever created in VR, though. So I hope they do find it.
Thank you.
Pretty much the hypothesis of the technology right there.
If you guys teleport, actually, Jim McManus, do you want to do it?
Sure. All right. When you get up close, can you hear the music, Andy, or anybody else? Because if you stand right at the door, you can hear music. Technically, you can hear yakety sax.
I heard music.
Right,
Andy,
but then
if you're still around, go ahead and try it. I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Boom. Now we're in.
So you can. Oh, we can hear the yakety sax because it's loud in there.
So I just teleport. Yeah, right. My headset's pretty loud.
Grab the thing in there and come back with it.
Okay. How do I? Oh yeah, right. Oops. Oh, I flew outside. Oh.
Let's see what other questions.
There I am again. Okay. How do I grab it? Just trigger? Okay, I got it.
We had some questions earlier about the YouTube VR app, and that you find on the Oculus store. I think it might also be on some Google Play, but it's really technically for Oculus headsets, and I think Steam might have it as well. But it is a VR app, YouTube VR, so you find it from within a VR headset. But you can watch it. It's well worth mentioning that just the YouTube app, the regular YouTube app you can get for an iPhone or an Android, will let you watch immersive video quite effectively. If you find a 360 or 180 video, you'll have a little icon that looks like the front of a VR headset. You just click on that and it presents it to you in stereo left and right, and it'll respond to your phone's gyroscope. You can put on a cardboard viewer or clip-on lenses. So it's a very effective way without spending much to be able to look at these things. So we're looking now at where you select the rooms on hubs, right, Dave?
So what you're looking at now is that you can share things in hubs. So you can just click a button and then you can go to Sketchfab where people have uploaded things. So I want to choose something that's not super advanced, or else I'll get an angry kind of screen. But okay, so there we go. So I just brought this kind of manta ray into the room. Seems like he's in a bubble.
Bubble ray, but it's cool because it's 3D. Yeah. And a little nurse shark. Oh no, it's sturgeon. You get a sturgeon.
This is actually very cool, Jim McManus, that we can see you on Zoom wearing your headset and then see you within the environment. That was actually very, very good thinking that you set that up.
It's meta. We're going meta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's neat.
And if you didn't see Jim Harp's VR workshop yesterday, we recommend that the Oculus Quest is really the way to go. They may be coming out with a new version of it, but we don't think it's going to be a big step up in technology. And who knows with today.
Yeah, these days, if you see one and you're interested and you can do it, just buy it, because if you wait for the next thing to come out, you'll never have anything.
And these were hard
my
to
advice.
get.
Oh man.
Yeah, during when people started having to stay at home, everybody wanted a VR headset and they couldn't get them.
Yeah, but the Quest does seem to, at the moment, if you're getting just one thing, that is sort of the one thing to get, especially if you don't have a high-end computer. And even if you do have a high-end computer, you can get the link and use it to run very high-end apps. So it's amazing how they've turned that into the Swiss Army knife, as Dave has said, of VR. Now, how hard is our limit as far as time? Because I can see we're getting to our hour of fun here.
Yeah, well, we can.
Is someone else using this space, or?
No, we can end. after people are ready. So
Dave, how did you bring in that manta ray and the sturgeon? Are you like in a control environment where you have like a tool palette in front of you, or?
You were on the desktop, right, to do that?
Well, I was on the desktop, but it's the same situation where. So you'll see a little magic wand at the top of the screen. And if you click on the magic wand.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay.
I hear what you're saying. It's funny to see Jim switched.
It's really interesting.
When you see me rip my headset off, you'll know I found something weird. There's a cheeseburger. So to actually get that in there.
So where are you? Okay, you're here.
I just hit Google Poly on the cheeseburger. Let's see what happens.
Oh yeah, that's where my Google. I built this in VR.
Oh, okay.
Also, if you've seen Tilt Brush, you can bring in images from Tilt Brush.
That's awesome. Oh man.
Yeah, which is an amazing creative tool right there. If people are new to VR, Tilt Brush, which actually does work on the Quest, which is an amazing thing that you do that. Definitely, that's one of the first apps you want to get because it's just, it actually brings up something which we really didn't have time to talk about yesterday. A lot of people see VR and just think it's gaming only, because gaming has certainly driven it. Gaming has, playing games has driven the development of it, but it's a remarkable artistic tool. It's a remarkable tool for training. There's all kinds of things you can do with it, but just right off the shelf, you can buy a Quest and get Tilt Brush and just have so much fun making stuff. And there's other apps too. There's some sculpting apps. There's actually quite a lot. People feel free to chime in, but there's just some amazing creative, you can never play a game and have all sorts of fun in VR.
Yeah. That I'll never forget, Jim, in your room back in 2017 in Irvine, you showed me that and Google Earth, and those two I was blown away, equally blown away by both in different ways.
So actually this, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to point out, Google Earth is actually a great example of what you need a more powerful graphics processor to do. In other words, you can buy a Quest. It's not going to, Google Earth is where you actually can go to any place on the world, and if it's well modeled, most places are, you can actually walk around like Godzilla or zoom into cities. That takes a lot of graphics processing power, and the Quest at this time by itself can't do that. But that's where you get the link cable, and if you have a powerful GPU computer, that's sort of an example of why would you not just get a Quest? Why would you get another headset, even if it has the same resolution? It's the graphic processing power lets you do some very cool things.
Yep.
And Tilt Brush does not work on the Go. The reason for that's worth mentioning. The Go does not have the ability to let you track 6 degrees of freedom. In other words, you can't really be in a virtual room with the Go. It wouldn't be able to understand that you had a 3-dimensional space. There are some fun artistic apps for the Go, though. There's some things you can do drawings with, and there's still some amazing little tools. But yeah, the Go has been discontinued because I think Facebook Oculus has decided that the future really is for 6 degrees of freedom, for being able to work in a virtual space. And but for what it is, the Go is a wonderful way to look at this material. It's a great way to look at YouTube VR. It's a great way to look at immersive things, and it has a few fun games to play on it. But you'll definitely not be able to do that kind of magic stuff on there, unfortunately.
All right, I've littered the room with garbage now from the creation tool. You got a fish tank above your head, and my headset's running low on battery.
In our New York meetings, when we used to have them physically, Dave and Jim used to bring that stuff, and it was fantastic. I never got a chance to really play with it because I was so busy with other details, but unbelievable. And they've certainly convinced me, and of course I have a Quest, and I would say anybody who has the opportunity to find one, you won't regret it. Absolutely.
I'll tell you another really great little app for the Quest. It's also for a whole bunch of things. Is 11, which is a table tennis. It's a ping pong app. There is, I don't actually have a way to hold it up to the camera right now, but there's a 3D printed controller holder that basically looks like there we are. It looks like the bottom half of a ping pong paddle. And it's amazing. You put your controller in it, and the guy who developed 11, the ping pong app, has developed an offset that lets it know you're holding your controller this way. And you really, with that headset on, you feel like you're holding a ping pong paddle. It is amazing. And it's also a wonderful way to show VR to people who aren't familiar with it, because everyone knows what ping pong is. And you put this thing on and you're holding your paddle, and there's nothing to explain. You're playing ping pong. And you can get online, connect with someone else, and have a phone conversation while you're playing ping pong together. It's a remarkable piece of technology, and I think it's a $20 app or something. We have a question. The 64. What is the 64 difference? What does that do on the Quest? 64 versus 128.
That's just the memory, that internal storage.
I'll tell you one thing though. If you like showing your own immersive videos, this is the one thing that's very annoying about the Oculus stuff is it doesn't let you connect a USB drive. In other words, if you're shooting your own 360 3D stuff, and people might chime in with some other thoughts about this, but this is one thing that'll drive you nuts is after you put about 4 of your best 360 3D 2-minute videos on, you're out of space. There is actually a thing called the RAV4, which is a wireless internet server that some people have had success. But the point is that 64 gigs, if you're taking a lot of immersive content, you'll be very glad you had it because you'll run out of space very quickly on that thing. And it's actually getting to be so many cool games that at this point, if you can afford it, I would get the 128 gig version because unfortunately, there's not an easy way to expand memory. It's not like your computer where you just stick on a flash drive and there's all your images. You're basically, for the most part, you're stuck with the memory that thing gave you. And if you are into immersive content, you're going to use it up really quickly. I'm constantly having to switch things out because, I can't show my pictures from China because they take up all the space and I can't show the other ones. That's a common problem.
The other genius about it is you'll discover that you might want to share it the first time, but in reality, you'll want your own. In other words, other family members, you'll say, it's worth just buying them the 64 or the 120, another one, because it gets personal after a while. You literally the settings and everything else are set up for you. And, you find it's a harder thing to share.
Especially these days. The one thing we quickly mentioned at yesterday's workshop is this company making the CleanBox. CleanBox is a VR headset sterilizer, which unfortunately is an important tool for our day and age for anyone who's trying to develop and share stuff in this this environment. Because my favorite thing always was to go to past conventions and all our in-person meetings. I would always bring a bunch of VR headsets and pass them around. Might not be easy or comfortable to do that in the near future. So these guys have solved that problem. Fairly expensive little box, but it in 1 minute, your headset is bathed in ultraviolet light and it's sterile and doesn't have any COVID on it. And you can pass it to the next guy. So it's amazing that the things that this was developed for amusement parks where people were constantly switching headsets back and forth. Back when it just like you would naturally do that if you're having huge crowds of people, but it's suddenly become, indispensable technology for just any of us who want to work in this format and share our work, at least in the near future.
We did get a question about the Orbix 360, whether it supports cardboard. I think we answered that, right?
Yes, it does, but Google doesn't really even support cardboard anymore.
That's Google for you. I bought a Pixel phone just because they promised me a couple of years ago, we're creating this whole new daydream. It's going to be the world's greatest VR environment. And then this is Google. 6 months later, they said, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's Google is famous for that.
One more diving mask.
We do support it. There might be some functionality on there that's not 100% working right now, but for the most part, yes.
But I mean, a cardboard viewer, I'm not sure if I understand the question. A cardboard viewer is a great way to look at your stuff with a phone. In other words, it doesn't have to be, you just have any browser that'll call up Orbix and play it in, Chrome browser will let you look at it in VR, right?
Yeah, I'm talking more about like some of the more advanced functionality of like the video stuff and hitting buttons and play.
Google is basically, they've patented the term abandonware because, as I said, Daydream was supposed to be the world's next greatest VR thing, but then at 6 months they decided, let's do something else, and that's what happened.
Google Glass.
Anyone wants to buy a used Pixel phone? Give me a yell.
Hey, so there was a question too in the chat, but one thing I wanted to point out that even with Firefox, and actually, let me pop over to my other share. I'm going to share my second screen. But it's the idea that nowadays you can actually just do VR within an app, or I'm sorry, within your browser. So this area that we see, I've been moving around in 2D, but when I log into this, what it says to me is, hey, do you want to go into it in VR? So there are several basically web apps that are built on a framework. And so Phyllis asked the question whether Tilt Brush is available on the Oculus Go. It isn't, because it takes a lot of processing to do all those tools and all the different things, but you can go into the browser, and probably on the go, you can go to a browser and you can go to a website that's running a framework called A-Frame. And I'll try to find the name of it. But
yeah, our whole site's built on A-Frame.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. So it's kind of like the magic that happens on these sort of smaller browsers, where suddenly you can do things that you wouldn't be able to do on a normal computer.
Yeah, this whole thing of VR being able to be run on browsers is a very exciting. It just opens so many possibilities, and it's fairly new, developing technology. But just the idea that you're really not going to be needing to have the Steam environment, the Oculus environment, that everyone has the internet and can get a browser. So it's going to be quite a lot of opportunities and interesting things a lot of people are going to be able to do without necessarily having to have specific hardware, especially because these phones get more powerful every year. The phones people are carrying around are every year they have more powerful, more resolution. The video processors get more able. So these are going to ultimately be very powerful VR viewing devices, whether people know it or not, that phone that they have in their pocket. Oh, and actually, this is an interesting question from Andrew Hurst. And this is a really good point. Anyone who has a VR headset, be very careful of having that in the sun. I have a piece of cardboard I put over the lenses of any VR headset because the sun would just love to burn some of your pixels out. And obviously, these guys at Cleanbox are using the ultraviolet, the non-visible spectrum, and I'm sure they figured out how to make sure it doesn't burn holes in your pixels. But you want to be very careful, whether it's an Oculus Go. I think Takashi Sekatani showed me he has an Oculus Go with a nice burned out pixel from just a few seconds in the sunlight going right through those lenses is a problem. Yep. So do be careful of that. These are good toys to play with inside, ultimately.
That's a good recommendation for any LCD screen, is to keep it out of the sun.
Absolutely, yeah.
But in particular, one that has a magnifying glass in front of it.
Yeah, it has that magnifying glass held up to it. That's not something you want to. LCD screen plus magnifying glass equals don't put it in the sun. Good
I wouldn't
point.
even do that with your stereo realist viewer with a couple of slides in one.
Yeah, well, that'll melt them. Yeah, you get a nice. We've seen that happen.
Just a word of advice, yes.
Nice pinhole burn, yeah.
I found the name of that thing. It's called aframe.io/apainter. It's called A-Painter.
So does that take the place of WebXR? Is that an alternative?
It's another. Jim can probably answer that better. It's just another framework, I think, that you program in.
Yeah, A-Frame is built on top of all that. It just makes it a little bit easier. It's built on top of like a 3JS.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It just takes the 3JS and makes it a little simpler. And then Orbix makes it even more simpler.
Hubs is built on 3JS. I mean, and I think we really should point out, what's his, Masuji's, all of his kind of wacky things that he's done on his site.
That guy is the Mr. Wizard of 3D.
I need to connect with him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually, Masuji, I don't know if you're familiar with it, Jim Prusi, but he's created an app that lets you do 360 Cha-Cha, 3D 360 from just a standard 2D 360 camera. It's called 3D 360. You spell out the word 3.
Yeah, I downloaded it today.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're familiar with it. But yeah, I mean, that's very exciting considering what you're doing, that this means that people who have a $60 camera can now work in that medium as opposed to having to buy a $3,000 Insta360. So it's really, very, very exciting development and something that just came out.
I love it. Is there a way to download the images into like a side-by-side or a top-bottom?
I'm actually not sure. I think it turns them into a top-bottom format, but that's a good question. Someone who's used the app more extensively would have to answer that. But I think that's what ends up happening is it creates a top-bottom, image from your two pairs, and it's very clever. He's figured out that basically the two facing lenses, one of them has to be reversed to make things make sense, and the stitching, and he's figured all that math out.
Yeah, the math is pretty crazy there because if you turn around, basically you're getting cross-eye.
Exactly, and he solved that. So, and it's all done automatically. So, It's really quite an amazing, and you know, for $1.99, and you can get a good 360 camera on eBay for, you know, well under $100. So it's amazing what this has opened up for people who are interested in experimenting with this.
Last week I was trying to do I bought like a Pano app, a real nice one, and I was trying to do some shots with the Pano. I was going to try and work on that this week, where, you know, you do like the Pano, and then you step to the left or to the right and do another Pano 360, and then I was going to try and turn those into some kind of top bottom.
So we see the secret of how Masuji does so much. He actually has duplicates of himself in little bubbles. And so this is how he gets so much programming done. I've always wondered what his secret was, but he has 3 brains to do his programming. So now we know his secret's out.
Yeah, so I put the link in the chat, and if you've seen the HTML5 viewer that we're also using on our website, this is really nice because within the web browser you have the ability to switch to side-by-side and mirror or half side-by-side for 3D TVs. And he's kind of working on where you can play videos as well in your browser. So kind of like Stereoscopic Player, if you've seen that, except for within your browser. He's got a webcam that you can put 2 independent cameras together. You can do a 360 viewer. He's done some cool things here where he's made, this 360 glass balls is really, really cool. So he's got, I don't know if this is terrible for you guys.
Wow.
But so that would be 360, I guess, but that's side by side now. So now it's like Dubois, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And yeah, so
that's definitely a 3JS.
Yeah, that's what made me think of that. And then you can do like the different effects, I guess. He's got these donuts, the cylinders. There's Takashi when he's not plugged in.
Is he still awake? Is he still here?
Yeah, what are you plugged into there, Takashi? Do you? I'm going to put a spotlight on you because you've got this crazy. What's going on there?
Question.
This is a meeting, the Stereo Tokyo meeting.
It's very late at night in Tokyo right now. What is it? 5 in the morning? It's very late at night.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for staying up. We were grateful.
My pleasure.
Sun's coming up.
And Takashi, am I correct that you suggested to Masuji a lot of he put some very nice VR functionality into Stereo Photomaker, and I think it's thanks to you. We can thank Takashi because there's some really nice things in Stereo Photomaker. You can take a VR 180, a pair of fisheye images. That's hard to get used to those eyes, but a pair of fisheye images, and it'll rectilinearly map them right in Stereo Photomaker. It'll do a whole bunch of nice VR things. So anyway, we thank you for that. Those are amazing tools we're all having a lot of fun with.
I tell Masuji.
Oh yeah, we appreciate all that a lot.
I think he's not here.
Oh, sorry, I kept spotlighting.
He had to get some sleep.
So, all right, so maybe we'll just close it up. If you have any questions, then go on to the Facebook. We have a thread about VR on there, and Stereo Theater's coming up. So.
Yeah, and I see Jim Prusy has to run, but thank you again, Jim, for spending all this time with us, because it's very.
Thank you guys very much. I'm a convert. I'll be hopefully if you guys do the live New York meetups again, I'll be there. And
please,
I'll definitely be back here. I'm going to be joining your society, and you guys are awesome. And thank you very much for having me today. Appreciate it.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Well, this was fun. Thanks, and thanks to Dave Camo for doing a lot of work figuring out. Yeah, because this was not easy to figure out how to have a meeting in Zoom in virtual reality. It's definitely we should write this in the history books. We were able to pretty much able to get this to happen.
Yeah, very good. Thanks, everyone.
Yep, get your TV set up or whatever you're watching the 3D theater on.
Yeah, theater is coming.
Yep,
it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and so save the chat. We'll have the chat too later on.
Thank you for that reminder. I always forget.
Okay, Run.
Excellent.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
See you guys.